How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. Solana resumes operations after resolving major outage. So once again, the Solana network broke because they did an upgrade. That's pretty much what happened. It's the first upgrade, first break they did since 350 days ago. That was when they last upgraded. This was attributed to a software issue related to their upgrade mechanism. They did end up rolling out a new version that did fix this, so that was a positive. It was done in the same day like the last time. They did find out that it could be due to the Berkeley packet filter mechanism, so as long as they find a way to resolve this issue, hopefully the next time they upgrade, they don't break. SEC advances rules for securities dealers, but leaves crypto a mere footnote. So the SEC applied rules that widen their net for who needs to register, and crypto is a footnote. So they didn't really mention crypto except once as a footnote. The SEC's modifications are historic, updating the SEC Act of 1934 to identify certain activities that would cause persons engaging in activities to be dealers or government securities dealers, and defining what it means to be doing so in part of a regular business. The Gensler said that the update requires that firms that act like dealers register with the commission as dealers, thereby protecting investors, as well as promoting market integrity, resiliency, and transparency. Whether and how crypto businesses fit into these definitions remains unclear because the phrase crypto references to any digital asset that is a security was all left out of this, even after the strong demands for crypto's inclusions were made by industry players for the last 2 years. So they've been petitioning for crypto to be included, and they were just a footnote. In the comment letter, there are a few people that argued against the SEC. The Chamber of Digital Commerce said that the SEC had again failed to provide clear guidance on when a digital asset constitutes a security. Despite repeated requests from digital asset market participants over a growing number of years, the Commission has yet to provide a specific rule setting forth when a digital asset constitutes an investment contract, making it difficult for issuers, trading platforms, and other market participants to make that determination, the letter said. The Association for Digital Asset Markets, or ATOM, raised similar concerns. They said if in fact the Commission intends for the proposals to expand the Commission's authority over digital asset intermediaries, it is the Commission's duty to make that expansion of the scope clear and to request comment on that concept, Adams said. The Commission appears to be attempting to extend the scope of the proposals to digital asset participants without any express discussions or analysis. The proposals appear to circumvent the Administrative Procedure Act notice and publicly comment requirements by, for example, inadequately stating the scope of the intended asset classes that would be covered in the proposals, the GDCA said. So not much more useful information there, but the SEC delays Invesco Galaxy Spot ETF, and there are probably going to be some more. The agency's latest filings indicate that it chose the option of denying the ETF rather than going through any kind of proceedings, but this will create the proceedings requests where we'll have to see the same things for Bitcoin, where they need to assess fraud prevention, market manipulation, and investor protections within their filings. Bloomberg ETF analyst James Sapart acknowledged the delay in writing, and he said that more delays will continue to happen in the coming months, and that the only date that matters for spot Ethereum ETFs is May 23rd, which is VanEck's final deadline date. So much like when we got the Bitcoin ETF approval, it could ride out to one of the issuer's final deadline date, this being VanEck this time. Over on the Dixie for the daily, we are getting a little bit of a sell-off after we got those green candles, so we are seeing this reversal arrow start to bring us down. If we see continued red candles, it's very likely we could push to the support, but that's where we would want to watch if we get bounce or a rejection. If we get bounce, we will make a move to that 105 area possibly. If we get a rejection, we will probably make a move to the 102 area. Our indicators we are using is Market Cipher B edits and Market Cipher A free version. This is all free, just like TradingView and the information we're giving you. So smash the like, hit the subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you can learn how to trade on the patterns we're going to show you throughout the night, because we will be covering those throughout the week, as well as any basic terms that you need to know when you're becoming an investor in crypto. Things like liquidity pools, how crypto works, and various other things. So over on the Dixie, we are getting a little bit of that pullback. Our stochastic is this double line down here. We do have this blue and this orange line. When blue is above orange, we do have bullish strength, so that could try to push us forward, but just watch out for them further red candles. This stochastic does give the strength to the RSI. The RSI is the relative strength index. As it starts to come down, it could show that we could see a sell-off. We are overbought currently. When we are this high with the RSI, we are in the overbought area. But that doesn't necessarily mean we have to sell off right away, or necessarily have to sell off that drastically. Our VWAP is overall heading down. That is this yellow wave right here. This yellow wave, when it breaks a zero, becomes bearish, meaning it can sell off. When it is above zero, that is bullish or positive for the market, but you still want to watch for corrections and dips. Momentum is this big blue wave that gets the strength from this VWAP. They show our medium and short to medium term buying selling pressure. VWAP is the short term, momentum's more the medium term. They then lead into how the money flow gets its strength. Once the money flow gets a little more momentum built up and the VWAP's a little more favorable in the bullish side, our money flow does turn green, get above the zero, and become in the bullish territory. But when it's getting more weak action and we see this red, that means we have bearish momentum, the trend is bearish, and that means price action is likely going to continue down or reject away, or it has a higher probability to see things like these big red candles. We are attempting to see the money flow reverse, so that's what's giving us the possibility with these big green candles. You can see when we get that, we do get some volatility, but we are struggling right now. So again, just watch for that drop down, watch these lower time frames. We'll look at the 1 hour quick. The VWAP is trying to break bullishly, money flows indecisive, momentum has a red dot. If that VWAP rejects this neutral, we will have a lower high. If we come down and make consistent lows after that, the bears will have control, and we will see the other time frames start to break down. That would show the Dixie starting to sell off. That could be positive for the crypto markets, as they seem to be a little inverted, so that would mean our crypto markets might increase. Our total for the daily is still struggling with this pattern. We just can't get through. This is a descending channel. They sound like a bearish pattern because they say descending, but they do lead to price action increasing. Typically that increase is after your third touch to the bottom though, so I would just be wary of any kind of momentum to the downside, as this total here gives the strength to all of our altcoins besides Ethereum. This is the market cap of all the altcoins, so Graph, Ankr, XRP, and ALGO are encompassed with the TA with this. If this looks bad and those coins look bad, then that's not a good mix. If this looks good and those coins look bad, those coins may have a surprise reversal. And if this looks bad and the coins look good, then those coins may have a surprise reversal to the downside. So that being said, our VWAP is trying to break bullishly, momentum is coming down, money flow is just above that neutral in the bullish territory, so we do have that potential to continue forward. We could invalidate these manipulation X's. They want to bring us down, but we're really not going very far. We do have some sort of consolidation. You could draw a slight symmetrical triangle here. The top of that trend would be your line there. This would be your other line. That could make a bull pendant for us. That would be a bullish pattern that could break us forward if I can grab the line. It would be able to take our total to that 525 zone. So that could be in conjunction with this descending channel. That does look positive for an increase in market. If we look over at the 1 hour, money flow is trying to become bullish. We are trying to stay above the green. VWAP is trying to push bullish. Momentum is trying to sell off. So I would watch very close on how that VWAP goes. If the VWAP continues to pull back, that money flow will likely not get a bullish trend. We will break this support and then we could see some lows, but then we likely could bounce off of that support level for this pattern still. We would just invalidate this other newly made pattern. Over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we do have a little bit of a sell-off, rejecting that point control area. We have been warning to watch for a rejection right around this area. It has been looking a little iffy for the last week. So if you've been paying attention, hopefully you notice this. This does mean if we do not pick up some strength here, we could see a sell-off. We have a reversal arrow after getting this downtrend though, so that could attempt to push us forward. Can't really find any examples of that right now. They're all uptrend ones, but reversal arrows do try to reverse the trend. We do have a slight downtrend going, so a reverse of that may be an uptrend. We'll have to kind of look at the lower time frame, or we can look right here. Yeah, if we get rid of that line, you can see we pretty much got the full breakdown too. So this channel is going to be deleted. If we continue seeing red candles below this point of control for our fixed range volume profile, remember you go over here, fixed range volume profile, hit the star, you draw that from the star, you run up to current price action, and then you'll get your fixed range volume profile. Oops, did not mean to do that. But that does mean if we continue to see them red candles, we will continue down toward the value area low for this range. This value area low could bring us around 49%. If we continue to see dominance decreasing, that's likely going to mean people are selling Bitcoin for stablecoins or altcoins, as the altcoins do look like they want to push. So if Bitcoin starts to pull back, we could have a altcoin run up, and then we could see money move from altcoins back into Bitcoin after, because typically it'll go Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. We could put Ethereum on this list for you guys if you would like, just so you can see how that movement goes. So our stochastic is coming down on the daily here, RSI is heading down, momentum is rounding away, our money flow is overall heading down, the VWAP is in the bearish territory, so overall we are favoring that bearish strength, and it could be likely we will see this reversal arrow start to bring us lower. We could start to break these EMA levels and see lower price action. So I would watch. These EMAs are kind of hard to see. If you want to change that, go here, visual order, bring forward. That'll help you see them a little bit better. You could bring front, but then it'll be on top of your candles. You could bring the candles on top after, kind of readjust it that way if you want. There is also this order tree, you could mess with that. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we are struggling with our point control here as well. If we cannot see further green candles and this red candle takes over, we could see a bearish breakdown from here. So I would be careful of that. That could signal that we may see a drop off. Dominance in futures looking a little iffy. We do have this gap down here, so that could signal Bitcoin may weaken. Remember, these both lead Bitcoin. That's why we cover them. Our momentum does want to round away here. Our stochastic's starting to round away. The RSI is rounding off. VWAP is getting lower highs. We do have a slight bounce off that neutral, so that could be positive. But again, we're going to need further green candles and to break above this point control with continued green candles. Otherwise, if we start seeing red candles here, we're going to slip away, push to our value area low, and then we could see lower price action. Otherwise, those green candles, if you start seeing them, will push you to that value area high. If we can break through that value area high, you'll want to see green candles in this range, and then that can push you to your 50 to 53k zone. That still isn't off the table yet. We will have to extend out this zone, so that is still not off the table. But remember, we do still have this zone down here right around that 20k that we could end up filling. We do have that grayscale sell-off that we did cover the few days ago. Watch the short on that if you missed it. So we could see some more grayscale selling that could kick off some more market sales. I would just be wary of that possibility. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we are indecisive. We tried to run up to the top of this range. We'll have to look at the lower time frames to kind of see and determine. We did try to get that bearish breakdown. So a few things happened here. Stochastic does want to make that bullish cross. It's overall coming down though as we make this consolidation. This consolidation is a bear flag. as we are trending sideways after getting a run up. So that bull flag could push us forward. It's not very big though. It could give us a push right above that 44.5. If we can hold above that 44, that's where we're going to see that momentum build us up to that 50k range. However, if we see this bearish takeover, it is likely we could still drop away. So we aren't quite out of the woods. We'll want to watch those lower time frames. The daily is pretty indecisive right now. Our momentum is flat. VWAP is flat above the bullish territory. Money flow is trying to become bullish, but if the VWAP doesn't pick up strength, that money flow is going to start to struggle if that momentum starts to lose strength. Over on the 4-hour, we got a little bit of a wick down here on this candle. Then we got a freak breakup, tried to fill our bullish scenario, and then we got rejected, pulled back into our pattern, and now we are consolidating. So we got a little bit of both sides. Mostly, the bulls did win this battle. They did try to push us up. The descending channel could still end up playing out though. So we're going to get rid of this symmetrical triangle, and then we'll extend out this descending channel. We are still trading within it. Bring this up to capture those wicks and the candle bodies there. So we could still see a round off and a little bit of a drop down. But again, we do have this bull flag that's forming, so if we continue this consolidation, this bull flag will push us forward. Our stochastic is starting to get that bearish cross. It wants to start to head down. RSI wants to come down. Momentum wants to roll away here. Our VWAP is picking up bearish strength. Money flow is starting to push down, so I would watch for this money flow to do a trend reversal. If it does, then we may see further losses as we approach the bottom. If our money flow becomes like kind of oversold, doesn't flip into the red very strong, then we approach this bottom. That would still give us possibilities to push forward. But if the money flow breaks into a strong bearish trend, I would just be weary. Over on the 2-hour, we did hit the top here with that wick. 2-hour looks a little different than the 4-hour, so this channel's a little more solid on the 4-hour. Stochastic is starting to push down. We do have that orange above blue, so that could give us that bearish momentum to make this rising channel break us down. Remember, just because a pattern says rising doesn't mean it's going to push you forward. Our VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory. Momentum is starting to round away with that red dot, and the money flow is trying to break bearishly as well. So overall, the 2-hour is losing that strength, and we're not looking very positive. The 1-hour is clinging to some bullish momentum here. Stochastic's overall pushing out after getting that bearish divergence. RSI is due to correct if that stochastic continues down. Momentum is pushing away. That VWAP is in a bearish trend with lower highs and lower lows, and the money flow is starting to lose some strength. If our VWAP does not make a rebound here, our 1-hour is likely going to flip into that bearish territory, and then we will see that 1 and 2-hour be bearish, and then that can weaken our 4-hour and bring it down as well. Then we would have that 3-hour confirmation that could bring the daily down and give us a significant decrease in price action. So just be wary and watch for bearish momentum. So over on graph for the daily, we are pushing above this pattern as Bitcoin did get that push up. We are having this rounding bottom form, so that could be positive for us. Our money flow is still in the bearish territory. VWAP is strong in the bullish territory. Momentum is pushing forward. So if that VWAP can remain bullish, our momentum could break bullishly and our money flow could do a trend reversal. If that trend reversal can sustain and break us through the 16,316, then we can see further bullish momentum. However, if we hit the 16,316, then this money flow rejects again, we could see another scenario like here where we got that drop down. Then we could see some lower lows if we are not careful. Over on the 4-hour, you can see that VWAP is pushing down, momentum is rounding away. Money flow is overall pretty flat, so overall nothing's really too strong here, and we pretty much got a really big manipulation push up. We do have a hammer candle. This is an inverted hammer candle and a long upper shadow candle. This suggests that if we see further red candles from here, if we get bearish engulfing candles specifically, that could really kick off a trend to the downside, and we could see some further losses. Stochastic does have orange above blue, and it's starting to push down. RSI is going flat. Momentum is rounding away as that VWAP starts to push toward that bearish territory, and the money flow is not sure where it wants to go, as it was building bullish strength, but now the VWAP is starting to push down. If that VWAP makes a consistent low and then makes a lower high, we could see the bears regain control. We could see this gap here at 15,603 fill, and then that could kick off some further losses. Over on the 2 hour, we do have that long upper shadow candle here as well. We have two gaps at 15,695, 15,607, and then almost one there. We'll have to see if there's a gap there on the 1 hour, but we do have some pressure to the downside with those gaps. Stochastic is starting to round away, RSI is losing strength, momentum is losing strength with a double red dot, VWAP is picking up bearish momentum, our money flow is pushing out, so overall we're not looking too positive on the 2 hour. If we do not see further green candles, this reversal arrow could start to pull back. We could reject this 600 hour EMA, that is our black line. It's 300 of what time frame you're on. We're on the 2 hours, so it's 300 times 2 is 600 hours. Over on the 1 hour, we are seeing this round off. We do have a strong bearish candle. This is a bearish engulfing candle where it's bigger than this green candle or as big as it. That suggests if we see some further losses, we see another red candle after this green candle, then it's likely we'll get that push to the downside. We don't have that gap down here. Might have a slight one right here at that 15,429, then 15,365. So we could see some further losses down those zones if we are not able to meet some bullish momentum right around here. That is right around that 15,592 zone. That's a pretty solid gap on the 1 hour. Don't really have any of the other gaps. If you look at the 2 hour, we have a few gaps. So I would watch more on the 2 hour gaps. Our money flow on the 1 hour is pushing down. The VWAP is in the bearish territory. If the VWAP starts to favor the bearish territory with these consistent lows and lower highs, then we are likely going to see the bears regain control, push us down, fill these gaps, and if they remain in control at that point, then it's very likely we will snap down, and this could be a bullish manipulation push up. Our VWAP is trying to push down, momentum wants around, stochastic's starting to push down, RSI is losing strength, so I would watch the next few candles. Again, if we see some red candles following this candle close, then it's likely we could get some sell-off here. Over on Ankr for the daily, we are still riding the bottom of this pattern. We just can't manage to break down off this support. We just want to stay on it. So I'm going to kind of extend it out this way at this point. If we cannot break this support, then that does weaken the chances that we will see that bearish break. We really didn't get much gain here for today, but our green EMA is trying to round up and push to that blue EMA. If it can break through that blue EMA, we would have an EMA cross that could help propel price action up toward the other EMA range near the top of the pattern. Our stochastic is pretty overbought, RSI is heading up, VWAP is in the bullish territory, we have higher lows, we are getting consistent highs, so we are trying to make a bullish trend here on the daily. If this can continue and we see some higher highs on our VWAP, that would be very positive for price action to push forward. Don't get too excited though, because if we reject at the top of this pattern, then we could still see it play out. Momentum is trying to push up. We have that green dot trying to push us forward. Again, if our total does get that run up, we will see our altcoins push up. So even if they have bearish patterns, we will invalidate those. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is trying to push up. VWAP is starting to roll away. Money flow has broken into the bearish territory. Momentum is trying to break bullishly. We do have a pretty decent run up here. So if the VWAP can remain bullish, our money flow is likely going to reverse back into bullish territory. And that could help bring the 1 day up. And that could help bring price action forward. However, if these lower time frames are weak, then that is in jeopardy. Stochastic is pretty maxed out. We are getting some bullish strength here on the 2 hour. We have a reversal arrow though, so I would just watch out for some downside from this arrow. We do have some consolidation though, so it is about 50-50. This consolidation could make a bear flag if we're not careful though. Draw that actually. Yeah. You could either draw this as a flag, or you could call these slightly increasing bottoms, which would draw a really long rising triangle. That really long rising triangle could try to bring you up and propel price action forward. So it's kind of hard to draw either. This wick could be considered a break to the downside. You could consider this wick here too. That would help solidify this area as a bottom. We do have other candles here too, so you could bring this up. Then those bodies are more in line, those wicks are more in line. So that would still give you that flag. This would be a bearish flag as we have that breakdown, so that could help push us lower right around that 2251, which, if you remember, that is where our value areas. We'll go back to this 4 hour. I believe those are our value area lows for some of these fixed range volume profiles we have. So that will be the value area low of that first fixed range volume profile. If we cannot meet green candles there, then it's likely we will get further losses and make a new value area range below that. Stochastic is heading down, so our RSI could start to weaken if this orange stays above blue. Momentum wants around, VWAP is pushing down, our money flow is struggling, so if the VWAP breaks that bearish territory, we're likely going to see momentum round, won't have very much bullish momentum, and then we could see this money flow break bullishly and then snap back down. So we could see some sort of influx. We are trying to pump right now, so that could invalidate that bear flag possibility if we close this green candle. I am going to get rid of that, but just keep that possibility in the back of your mind. Over on the 1 hour, we are seeing that run up on this current candle, so that could be good. That could make a bullish engulfing candle. If we follow this with a strong green candle after this, it's very likely we will push to the top of this channel. And then if we continue bullish momentum there, we will get that break out. Stochastic does want to round though. RSI is trying to rebound. Momentum is starting to round, but as a green dot, as our VWAP is trying to bounce off this neutral. If our VWAP can bounce off this neutral, we will have continued highs with higher lows. That will be a bullish trend on the 1 hour. If that sustains, this money flow will remain bullish, and then our other time frames can propel forward, and price action will be able to attempt to break bullishly away from this bearish pattern. Over on XRP for the daily, we are rejecting away from the top from a few days ago, and we are starting to consolidate here. If we start consolidating, we could make a bear flag that could invalidate this bullish possibility, so keep your eyes on that scenario. Stochastic does want to round forward. RSI is starting to bend away, so I would watch if that stochastic does gain a little more weight with this orange line. The orange looks like it wants to pull back below the blue, so that could help propel us forward for the next couple days, but just keep an eye on things as we have been overbought for a while, but the RSI has had a decent sell-off, so it has cooled off and does have the potential to come back up, ride the overbought area, and propel us up. Our money flow is heavy in the bearish territory. VWAP does have lower highs, but we are struggling to break through. If this VWAP cannot make a lower low, then it's very likely we will push up, we will snap above this EMA, and then we can try to push to our blue EMA, which is just above the top of our pattern. Momentum does want to push up. We do have a green dot, so if that VWAP can make a strong break forward in the next day or two, we would need hopefully 2 green candles. We would need a strong green candle to break through the EMA, then another strong green candle to confirm that, then that could help kick off a bullish trend. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic is starting to round away, RSI is starting to head down, VWAP is rolling away, so keep close attention on that VWAP. We do have a higher high, but if we break down for consistent or lower lows, then our bullish breakup would be in jeopardy as that money flow is pushing down, momentum's pushing down, price action sliding. We did reject off one of our higher EMAs here on the 4 hour, so if we continue to reject these EMAs, we could be in for a downtrend. We tried to make a bearish engulfing candle here, but we weren't able to do so. If we can reclaim above these green and blue EMAs, then we could make another attempt at the yellow EMA and continue up. But if we continue to reject away from this green EMA and we get a strong red candle to close here, it's very likely we're going to push down. This could be a bear flag, and then that bear flag would end up pushing us down. Apparently, I forgot how to speak tonight, but that bear flag would end up pushing us down, as this is coming from a downtrend. So consolidation after a downtrend is your bear flag. That could push us to the bottom of this descending channel. If we do not meet bullish momentum there, then we are going to lose the channel. However, if we meet bullish momentum and push off the somewhere near the bottom of this channel, you can see we did break away, tried to invalidate and manipulate people, but we wound up breaking back up. So if we do something similar, we could attempt to push back up. If we get that bullish momentum to continue when we are up near this resistance, then that would give us that likelihood to see that bullish break up to that 54-cent area. Over on the 2-hour, we have a manipulation X that does want to bring us down. Stochastic is rounding. We have bearish divergence. VWAP is rounding. Money flows in bearish territory. We do have a red dot here on the momentum. So if the VWAP continues bearish momentum here, we're likely going to continue to pull back. Money flow will not cross, and then the 2-hour will make a bearish trend that could end up breaking us down. Over on the 1-hour, we have several manipulation X's that did bring us lower. Stochastic is heading down. RSI is coming down. Momentum is pushing lower. VWAP is pushing lower. Money flows overall in a bearish trend. So overall on the 1-hour, we do not have very much strength. And it does look like if we do not continue, we're going to need to gain some strength as we approach the bottom of this channel. If we do not gain any strength when we hit the bottom of this channel, we could invalidate and push lower. That would end up dropping us down. That would be in confluence with the pattern. So if we continue that though, as we meet the support zone of this descending channel, that would be where you could invalidate the descending channel. So watch that money flow in VWAP if we continue to sell off. Once we approach that bottom, again, if we continue bearishly while we're at the bottom, then we may not get a run up like back here or back over here. You typically see that money flow reversal. That's why we cover it. So over on Algo for the daily, we are struggling with this support zone 2 at 1618. Stochastic is trying to push up. RSI is pretty flat. VWAP is trying to make a bullish trend, but we have lower highs currently. If we start to pull back from here, then it is very likely this bearish momentum will end up pushing us lower. We got about half that breakdown for the symmetrical triangle breakdown possibility, but if we struggle here, it is likely we will come back, fill these wicks, and then we could break that value area low or value area high of the fixed range volume profile that we did leave behind for quite some time now. So the stochastic is trying to push up. That is positive, but we have a red candle here. If this red candle closes and we continue to see red candles, we are likely going to break this support zone and push lower. Our momentum is pushing down. We are trying to get that green dot as that VWAP breaks bullish, but with the VWAP having a lower high, I would just keep an eye on it. Money flow is pushing into the bearish territory, so overall we are struggling here. I would watch these lower time frames. The 4-hour, we are attempting to bounce off this support. If we see a green candle next, then that could be a confirmation of a bounce, and we may be able to see that bullish break up. Our stochastic does want to round though. RSI is starting to round off. VWAP is starting to round. Money flows remaining bullish, and the momentum does want to break bullish. If the money flow can maintain bullish momentum, and we can get that confirmation, then it's very likely we will see that push forward from here. Over on the 2-hour, stochastic is starting to round away, so I would watch. Momentum is starting to round. VWAP starting to sell off. Money flow is in the bullish territory, pretty flat. Our RSI is attempting to push up, so we aren't quite selling off yet. We did have a little bit of a lull where we sold off, and now we are trying to pick up some strength. This could end up pushing us forward if this maintains. Over on the 1-hour, we do have a reversal arrow after getting this breakdown and a pump up, so a reversal of that pump up could end up being a breakdown. We do have a potential double bottom that could break forward here. So you have a drop, rise, drop, rise. That would be a double bottom to push you up. You would draw from your neckline, which would be our support resistance, to one of your drops, and then up. That would push you right around that 1646, so that would be our maximum break possibility from just this pattern. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is rolling away, momentum does want to roll, VWAP is losing strength, and the money flow is struggling. But if the money flow and VWAP can make a bounce here, and we do see some strong green candles, then we are likely going to pick up some strength and continue forward. Remember, our total does look positive, so even though some of these things are kind of on the edge of breaking bearish, we do still have the possibility to pump forward out of nowhere, as we do have those little bullish green flicks on that money flow. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.